So far, we've met with the Biden administration over twice now. The Biden administration has been very helpful in communicating with NHAEON because we are the company for the Haitian community as of right now. Right now, I'm going to introduce the chairman of NHAEON, the National Haitian American Elected Officials Network, Alex the Silver.
The mic is off.
Thank you, Honor. Kind of scares me. Thank you, Honorable Timothy. Good morning, everyone. I am Councilman Alex DeSume, representing the great city of North Miami, District 4, and I am also the chairman of the National Haitian American Elected Official Network, known as NHAEON. NHAEON is a group that consists of all the Haitian American elected officials in the nation. We are the largest, well, we are the only group of elected officials in the nation. Last week, when the situation started to unfold in Del Rio, I received a call from one of the organizations that has been on the ground, Haitian Bridge Alliance, for the past 6 years. NHAEON had partnered with Haitian Bridge Alliance in 2017. The executive director called on NHAEON to come and help. We thought we were going for a quick conference call and came right back and come right back. So Saturday, September 18th, I was in Del Rio, and I did not come back until last Friday, the 24th. During my stay in Del Rio, I had several conversations with the Biden administration on a daily basis. I also spoke to Secretary Mayorkas on the conditions of those underneath the bridge. We also, NHAEON members and myself, was the last group who made a visit to the migrant that was underneath the Del Rio International Bridge. And I had an opportunity to speak to our people in terms of what was going on in the situation. During the visit, along with NHAEON members, I also had Mr. Carlos Moore, the president of the National Bar Association, and along with other members who accompanied me during the trip. Now my colleague will go into more specific detail in terms of what the national group, NHAEON, the demand and the request that we made to the Biden administration. Thank you, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marie Woodson, and I'm a state representative for District 101, and I'm also a member of NHAEON. Thank you so much for being here, and Mr. Chairman, thank you for calling this press conference, and to all my colleagues here as well. For the past few months, Haiti has remained in the news, starting in July with the assassination of the president, moving with the earthquake in August, and last week we witnessed what happened at the border. We have to admit that everyone admitted that it was wrong what happened at the border. That should not have happened. Our Haitian brothers and sisters should not have gone through what they went through, because they are human beings. They need to be treated with the respect and dignity that they deserve. But in the midst of all that, we have to remember, we have to act as leaders. We have to be able to sit at the table and discuss those items that are extremely important when you're witnessing such a mass migration. We don't see any other country going through that to the mass migration, which means we have to address the underlying causes of the migration. So we have to be calling on the administration to sit down with us and discuss those items. The president himself admitted that what happened at the border was wrong, and we are grateful and thankful over the fact that he admitted that, and so many other leaders. But we need to move forward, because we cannot sit down and just continue to rehearse what happened. Now it's time to take actions. Action in the sense of the items that we want to see. When you see so many people coming from a country to come in a place, they are fighting for their life. They are fighting for survival. And if we don't address those issues, nothing's going to happen. So we are grateful over the fact that the administration has allowed so many Haitians to stay and seek asylum. I believe the number is around the 12,000. So that's an item that we are grateful and thankful for, in addition to the TPS that was granted. But right now, we need to have processes in place to address our brothers and sisters at the border, in the camps actually. They have been moved to camps. So this is something that we would like to sit down as elected officials who have been elected by the people to discuss with the administration. As well, we would like to see processes in place to address the people in the camp, because if we let that happen and we don't make sure that we have good processes in place to address those issues, we are not doing anything. And we have to be accountable for some of those things as well as Haitians. We need good leadership in the country in order to make sure that the people don't leave their home to come here. Everyone would love to stay in your home country. You want to stay in your home in order to be productive citizens. However, the country does not offer them that much. So at this time, we're calling on the administration to sit down and discuss those things as leaders, as people, in order for us to come up to a conclusion to address the migration issue. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm State Representative Dottie Joseph, and I proudly represent Florida House District 108, in which you're standing right now, which comprises one of the largest Haitian populations in the entire state of Florida, if not the entire Union. I stand here with the National Haitian American Elected Officials Network to highlight a couple of points. First of all, we are asking that the Biden administration live up to its promise, its campaign promise of building back our broken immigration system and ensuring that people are treated with dignity. Now is the time to live up to that promise. Specifically, we are asking that the Biden administration halt all deportations of Haitians anywhere. Secondly, we are asking for humanitarian parole. Thirdly, we are asking that the Biden administration discontinue the harmful Title 42 policy and accompanying CDC order that was put into place by the prior administration. We understand that the prior administration did a lot of damage, from our post offices to the political asylum process. But now is the time to build that back better. We need people in place who can allow a legal process for immigration. You will hear narratives about illegal migrants and such at the border. All of that is a false narrative. And I am asking people to stop playing political football with people's lives. These are the Haitian people that we're talking about. We have information that Republican operatives are planting things to set up a crisis at the border, a false crisis, and I'm saying that we're not standing for that. We are, again, asking for a halt of all deportations, a discontinuation of Title 42, which has already been found illegal in its application for unaccompanied minors, as well as families. We need the Biden administration to discontinue that, and we're just asking him to do what he promised us to do, which is build our immigration system back better. People have been waiting. There is no illegal process about this. This is the legal process that we have under United States and international law. We're asking for due process and the ability to pursue that route. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Dottie Joseph, who also serves as an attorney as well. Next, we will hear from a friend of the Haitian community. She may not be a member of NHAEON, but she serves a large Haitian population here in Miami-Dade County. School board member, Dr. Dorothy Johnson.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. The introduction as a friend of the Haitian community is fitting and proper. Nonetheless, I don't consider just a friend, because we have friends everywhere, but they are not here this morning. It is so important that we all recognize that if we're going down the street and someone stops us, they don't ask me if I'm Haitian or if I'm an African in America. We must stand together and demand that we are treated as human beings. So of course, it is my honor to stand as a school board member for District 2. which has the largest number of Haitian American children in Dade County schools. I come this morning because I have no other place that I would rather be. Please understand that when the children come to the United States, we must be prepared for them. I will continue to speak with our superintendent to be prepared for the children. We must not allow them to linger. We must educate them. Now, you've heard a lot about what has happened in Haiti. It happens every day, all day, to people in the diaspora. You're here taking all of this down. Please make sure it gets in the right hands so that we can promote dignity, equity, parity for all people. Now, I'm going to close, but you must know this, being that I'm a teacher, I'm a former principal, I'm a former state representative, and now I'm on the school board. The history of Haitian Americans is rich. If you ever get a chance to go to a place called Savannah, you will learn why we must honor, celebrate, and salute Haitian Americans. They're not just trying to get here because they have been pushed out, rooted out. They're coming, as one of the speakers said, for a better life and a safer life. So remember, it's the Haitian community today. We don't start and continue to save our Haitian American brothers and sisters. It will be us tomorrow, and that's all of us. Be very careful. God bless you. See you on the journey.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Councilwoman Linda Julian, and I have the honor and pleasure of serving as an at-large city council member for the city of Miami Gardens. I echo the sentiments of my colleagues behind me. For everybody that has stood with us, I want to say thank you. All we're asking is that we normalize humanity again. Let's have some empathy for people. There are many ways that you can help. We have some vetted organizations, such as the Haitian Bridge Alliance and the Houston 1804. If you would like more information on the ways that you can help, please visit NHAEON.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Julian. And we are joined by several members of our NHAEON delegation here in the Florida chapter. We have Mayor Philippe Bien-Aimé, North Miami Commissioner Pauline DeLaw. We also have Commissioner Nancy Mateo from Coral Springs, and Miami-Dade County Commissioner Jean Monestein here with us this morning. North Miami. Oh, and I'm sorry, North Miami Beach, our neighbor, I'm sorry, our lovely rival, Michael Joseph from North Miami Beach, and of course our colleagues here in the city of North Miami, which represents the largest concentration of Haitian American citizens, Mayor Philippe Bien-Aimé and Councilman Mary Estime Urban. Again, NHAEON has been working tirelessly for the past 2 weeks. One of the accomplishments that the chairman was able to accomplish while in Del Rio was that he was able to work directly with DHS to stop some of the trafficking at the gas stations with the illegal immigrants, with the Haitian nationals. We also are asking everyone to raise their flag in solidarity with the Haitian community right now. We know that Cubans are on the forefront right now. Afghanistans are at the forefront right now. So we need the community to stand by our Haitian community as well. In the coming days, NHAEON will be releasing more information about ways to join collectively. So we're calling on all of the organizations, everyone who wants to assist and help Haiti, to please visit NHAEON.org to volunteer, to join our community council, because we will be outlining a plan of action so that we can help people here on the ground, whether it's creating welcoming committees to welcome these Haitian nationals who are coming to Miami-Dade County, who may need housing, who may need food, who may need diapers for their babies. This is a humanitarian crisis. This is a people's crisis. This is not just a Haitian crisis. So we're asking everyone to stand in solidarity with NHAEON, to raise your Haitian flag, and to make sure that our Haitian community is not forgotten. Again, thank you all for joining us this morning. And if you have a few questions, we'll take them now.
Hey, Steve over at NBC6, how are you? Just, if somebody on the group wants to speak of, I know that there were representatives who went down, and it was, by the time Father Reggie got there, everybody had been removed and sheltered on. Just your general thoughts. We understand the Biden administration certainly talked about how that they made an error. With respect to moving forward, what is the expectation? What can be done with respect to long term and dealing with the situation now? Just here in the next year, with the narrative being.
So I think I heard your question.
Yeah.
So I know Councilman Alex Sumi was the chairman, and Mayor SMA Irvin was also there for a week on the ground, so they can talk to that. And then I'll also have Florida State Representative Dottie Joseph talk about the long term, what can be done. And those are in the request as well that was sent to the Biden administration.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Councilwoman Mary SMA Irvin, a proud council member for the city of North Miami, representing District 3. Like I've mentioned last week in a press conference, I had the opportunity to go to Del Rio along with Councilman Alex Ismay, which is the chair of NHAEON. And when we got there, initially we went there for fact-finding and to be able to speak to the people underneath the bridge and to make sure they were okay and they had the necessary food, at least while the process is being done. When we got there, we were unable to get to the border. And when we also realized that while we were trying to talk to the White House and DHS to have access, we realized that they were dropping off immigrants at a gas station where if they made the bus, they went to San Antonio, but if they didn't have a bus, they didn't make the bus, then they had to, they were out on the streets, not having any lodging or anything. So along with Haitian Bridge Alliance, NHAEON, we stepped in and we provided them with food, and we just kept advocating to the administration to first of all stop deportation, to repeal Title 42, and to address this. It is inhumane, like we've all said, that somebody is coming for refuge. People that have not even been in Haiti, that have left various countries because they were promised in those countries certain things that did not occur. Anyway, in the interim, I guess Chairman Alex Ismay can speak to that. He was able to finally address some of the immigrants on Thursday underneath the bridge, and I'll let him speak to that.
Thank you, Councilwoman Irving. We got there on Saturday, and after several meetings with DHS, the agency that was processing the migrant, once they were released under the bridge, there was one agency that was processing them. Some of them went directly to San Antonio or Houston, Texas. As Councilwoman Mary SMA Irving mentioned, the leftovers, maybe about 20% of them were left because they had a flight they needed to catch from the Del Rio airport, which is a very small airport. It's a regional airport. And knowing Del Rio, there was no hotel because 80% of the city is occupied. It's a military base. So those migrants were left at the gas station, and we find out that this practice had been going on for 2 years. We were shocked when we saw that because we saw it was, hundreds and hundreds of people that we were able to assist. But we knew something had to be done. And with my colleagues from NHAEON that was on the ground, as of Wednesday, September 22nd, the decision was made there would be no more folks dropped at the Strut gas station, which was the Greyhound gas station in Del Rio. So that we are very proud of that accomplishment, and we thank the people that we work with tirelessly, because my colleague, State Representative Dottie Joseph, who also went later that week and did some fact-finding mission, will speak on the long term, as well as Mayor Bien-Aimé, in terms of the long-term development for Haiti in this particular solution. Dottie?
So I want to acknowledge several members, in addition to the ones that you heard, that took their time to travel to Del Rio and other parts of Texas. council, we also had Commissioner Victoria Siplin from Orlando, who was from Orange County, who was also on the ground. So we were dispersed in different areas. In addition to the members of NHAEON, I'm also past president of the Haitian Lawyers Association. We had lawyers coming to volunteer from all around the United States. One lawyer in particular was in Houston and in Del Rio, educating people about their rights. Now, in terms of some of the long-term things we're doing, you mentioned Father Reginald came, and I was actually with him when we were in Del Rio and in Houston. He didn't make it to Houston, but him and another delegation of clergy from all around the United States. We had Pastor Kenny Felix from here in Miami-Dade County, who also came with a national delegation. What we're seeing are a number of needs, some of which are going to be in terms of legal representation that's needed for these people in preparation for their hearings when they return. There are also some legal needs that organizations are going to be working on in terms of litigation for the folks who have been deported. We also have needs in terms of ongoing housing needs, ongoing needs in terms of just acclimating them into the community. Some of these things can be done with organizations throughout various states that are tasked with refugee resettlement, but in those areas where we have gap filling, you know, one thing that Councilman Desume or Chairman Desume did not mention to you is when he got there on the ground, there were lots of people, which you saw on the cameras yourselves, that did not have lodging. So they paid thousands of dollars to make sure that these people could have a safe place to stay overnight, and a number of things on the ground. He's too humble to mention things like that, but these are the kinds of things that your Haitian American elected officials have been doing on the ground when we saw that need that was not met. So the long-term needs, we're still doing an assessment and assuring that we know which organizations can participate, and that's about it.
Thank you, State Rep Joseph. Also, there was a number that was mentioned by State Representative Woodson earlier that we are confirming in terms of that number from the State Department. Another thing that we are doing, we are working with, in the next 2 weeks, we're going to lay out a plan in terms of what the administration should be doing, and we're also planning to meet with the State Department because we know part of the issue why these migrants are coming is Haiti. So the root cause, we need to address it, why these migrants left wherever they were, and they did not come from Haiti directly, although they are from Haiti, and they were also migrants from Africa. So they kind of categorize anyone who looked brown and black together, and they just call it a Haitian migrant. 90% of the folks under the bridge were Haitian, but not all of them. So I do want to get that fact out. But in terms of, we are planning on speaking directly with the State Department, and we are going to request and ask them what is their policy on Haiti, because we are not clear in terms of the mixed messages that is being given, and we want to be sure and clear. We will be sitting and talking to the State Department to talk about the longer term to fix Haiti, because we know if Haiti is fixed, we would not have people trying to come in terms of the mass migration that we saw at the Del Rio. Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, this will conclude today's press conference. Thank you everyone for joining us. And if you would like to have separate interviews, you can contact the chairman. Thank you.